Hi everyone, I'd just like to note that this presentation will be recorded. If you do not wish to participate live, it will be available to view later. By remaining in this meeting, you give your consent for your participation to be recorded. Thank you.
We would like to pay our respects and acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which this event is taking place, the Wadawurrung people, and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging.
Good morning. I, Lachlan Buzzer, an intermediate PTech student and your MC for this event. Fellow students, parents, teachers, and IBM staff and special guests, I wish to welcome you all to the 2020 Ballarat PTech Showcase. I am accompanied by PTech teacher Greta Modoc, who will be helping me throughout this showcase.
This showcase contains all areas of work that the intermediate and senior classes have done this year, including 3D modelling, video editing, and game design, to name a few. This year's showcase may seem a little different compared to previous years due to obvious reasons. This inconvenient virus has intervened in our personal and social lives, but we have learned to adapt to our new way of living. Today, we will present you with our online showcase.
Now, before we continue, I would advise that you have your phone turned off during this meeting so you don't disrupt any of our hardworking members, and to have knowledge of where all fire exits are in case of an emergency. Please know where the toilets are at all times. If you need to go, please feel free to go during the video editing segment. It's my segment. If you need to exit the call at any time, the leave options at the bottom right of your screen.
In this showcase, we will run through a demonstration of each section of the website guided by PTech students. After this, you'll be able to move between breakout rooms and ask questions to go into more detail in each section. You'll also be able to enjoy the interactive elements of the website during this time.
Then representatives from the senior will share some reflections of their personal journeys through PTech. We will then have some words from our teachers, and showcase will close at 12 p.m.
Now we are going to hand over to Albert and give the mic to Albert, who will be talking about 3D modelling.
Thank you, Greta. Well, first off, I would like to introduce Sam Springfield. He's going to be going through the basic rundown of 3D modeling, and then I will talk about specifics of each model that we've created throughout the year. So take it away.
Hi, I'm Sam. 3D modeling is a technique in computer graphics for producing 3D digital representations of any object or surface. An artist uses special software to manipulate points in virtual space. These 3D objects can be generated automatically or created manually by deforming a mesh or otherwise manipulating vertices. 3D models are used for a variety of mediums, including video games, movies, architecture, illustration, engineering, and commercial advertising. I'll hand it back to Albert now to give you more of a rundown.
Thank you, Sam. And now for our specific models. First off, we have the die. This very basic and simple model was smoothed. Its corners have been smoothed out by creating an edit poly mesh using vertices and subdivision surfaces with the chamfer tool. Next up is the Pokeball. The depth of the middle section of this model was created using a small sphere inside the two larger halves. The icon in the middle was sculpted and repositioned by 180 degrees, so it was facing outwards. Next up is the building. This very large and complex model was created with the twist, taper, and FFD modifiers to alter basic geometry. Then the model was cloned, reduced in size, and textured to look similar to glass. Aligned with the original model, the second model represented glass windows displaying the building's interior. Then a basic chamfer tool was applied to smooth off the edges as a finishing touch. And now we have the spaceship. This model is fairly basic compared to the previous building, created using similar geometry tools as well. But the interesting part comes in at the cockpit, where the concave modifier was applied to create space for a theoretical pilot. The Rubik's Cube. This model was created as a single multicolored cube. Then, after the chamfer was applied to round out its edges, it was cloned to create the 9 squares for all 6 sides. And finally, we have our second to last, we have our chess piece. This model is particularly interesting as to how it was created. Firstly, a one-side outline was drawn by hand to resemble the shape of a pawn. Secondly, the lathe modifier was applied, and this outline was filled in by 360 degrees, essentially replicating the original drawing and making sure it was symmetrical and uniform. Finally, the Turbo Smooth modifier was applied to fix the piece's jagged outline. And now we have the last and possibly most complicated model, the soft drink can. This model was created to be as realistic to a soft drink can as possible. The lip of the can was created using the extrude and inset feature, and the indentation at the bottom was created using bevel. The hole in the top of the can was created by moving the center vertices into the correct shape and deleting them. Finally, Turbo Smooth was applied to smooth out the edges to make it look exactly like the real thing. And now back to you, Lachlan Buzzer.
Thanks, Albert. Now to Jamie, who will be talking about video games.
It appears that Jamie is not in the call currently, so what we'll do is encourage you to check out the game design section on the website later on when you're able to move into the breakout spaces and really explore all of the work that the students have put in with their game design this year. For now, I'm going to pass on to Ethan, who will be chatting about Adobe.
During the year of 2020, the PTech students have used many different Adobe softwares, including Photoshop and Adobe Extract. This chameleon has been color changed using Photoshop, adding in a radar on it by Albert.
Cheers for that, Ethan. Tyler will now be talking about the wonders of coding.
Over the years, PTech has completed several codes that either program robots, games, or software. Some examples of these programs that PTech used to make these codes are Unity. This is a game where you roll a ball using the arrow keys and try to collect all the stars. This was made with Unity. Unity is used for making video games. The second image is using CMD to make programs that work like a magic 8-ball that will answer your questions. CMD is used for making the computer do things and tell you things. This is code we did on Visual Studios that works like a calculator. Visual Studios is used for developing computer programs and apps.
Thanks for that, Tyler. Now we will be talking about video editing with Lachlan Buzzer.
Thank you, Greta. In video editing, both classes did their own thing. First, I'll start off with the intermediates. In the intermediates class, we did a whole wide variety of methods on editing. Simple editing techniques include cut and paste. For example, we had to cut and swap a video from different worlds of the Super Mario game. Not only that, we had to use our beautiful and creative brains to add our own audio to match certain actions. For example, every time Mario jumps, you can add a chicken noise or dog barking or whatever noise you think suits the action in the video game. I've taken knowledge from the video editing classes and used it on my own videos. For example, attaching my music to a personal game video that I recorded. To the best of my knowledge, the senior class spent time learning how to use green screens in their video editing classes. Green screens are used throughout the entertainment industry, which allows the movie makers to film scenes realistically, which are not normally possible, in which they mostly use it to cover backgrounds, or you can just use it in YouTube videos to make any background you please. So it'd be something good to know about. Thank you, Me. You did well, Me. Great job, Me. Now on to Bailey. We'll be talking about the excursions.
Bailey is absent as well. So again, I would just encourage you when we have time to go into the space on the website for the excursions and really check out some of the, when we were able to complete excursions this year, some of the excursions that we were able to go on and the things that we learnt through visiting those industries around us. Now we're going to have Kynan, who's going to introduce you to our web design.
Thank you, Gretel. This is the web design page. There's 4 different photos on here. as you can see, if we scroll down a little bit, I believe all 4 of these were made by students, not 100% sure, but the whole site that we're doing the showcase on at the moment is a great example of how the 2020 PTech students work in teams, both intermediates and seniors. Personally, working on a website with everyone was a great experience. I can't say the same for other people. They might have the same feels about it, but this is how we did in a team environment. Yeah. Gonna hand it back over to Greta and Buzzer and leave it from here.
Thank you for that, Kynan. Now open the breakout rooms and you may enter anyone as you please. You can ask any questions you want, any sort of questions for our students. To access the breakout room, there should be a link sent, there'll be an option to enter the breakout rooms. And in order to get into the website, there will be a link sent into the chat.
Thank you, everyone. There was a lot of movement around those breakout rooms and a lot of students really happy to chat and share a little bit more information. We just wanted to open it right now to anyone who may have further questions that perhaps didn't get answered through the breakout rooms. So we've got a couple of minutes. If you have a question, feel free to put it in the chat or just turn your microphone on and we might get a student to respond.
All right, I'll ask a question, Greta.
Thanks, Sharon.
That's okay. I'm just interested in knowing what the students thought of studying under a COVID environment this year. For those who have studied PTech for the 2 years, what was the best or worst part of 2020 in terms of COVID?
Well, I think that in term 2, when we first started out at home learning, it was quite a lot easier for me because I could avoid the hustle and bustle of the classroom quite a lot. I could just really focus on the work that I had to complete. But then at around term 3, it started to derail a bit. I actually kind of missed being around other people and I kind of got a bit isolated and depressed, if you will. And so actually getting back into classroom for term 3 and term 4 has really helped me pick up the pace with a lot of my work because it was really starting to pile up. So at-home learning has been both good and bad for me this year. So it's been a whole mixed bag.
I think that's the same. I was going to say that it's the same for the adults as well, I imagine.
I would say so. Is there anyone else who would like to contribute to that response?
Sure. I have both negatives and positives with it. I'll start with the negatives so we can go up from that. So negative being like, I'm more productive in a class rather than at home where more distractions are. And yeah, I don't prefer the online classes because I don't feel like you connect as much with everyone around you. And the positive being, doing a new thing, I guess. Online classes, trying to space yourself, learning new things that may help you in the future. Don't know, can't say for certain, but at least you learned a new skill from it all. That's all really.
Absolutely. Excellent. Thank you very much for those responses and thank you for the question, Sharon. If there's any further questions, please just post them in the chat, but we need to move on now. So we are going to have 3 senior students give some speeches on their journeys and experiences through the PTech classes. So we're going to start with Jaden.
Yeah. Hello. I'm Jaden, and I guess I'll start up with my high school. And start of high school was pretty easy for me. Made friends real quick. Class was easy. Got along with some of the teachers because they're pretty good to new students, I guess. For the first 3 years, I was doing pretty well, catching up with every class, passing. And at the end of my high school, year 10, halfway through it, I just started going downhill. The teachers I got that year I didn't know any of them, didn't get along with them at all. And I just quit school and didn't go to school for, I guess, till the end of the year, where I got introduced to Fed Uni Kickstart program, which was really good. It was really fun. Really laid back, and teachers were great. And made some new friends. I guess next year's, the other 3 years, to now, have been really good. Work is easy to do. Teachers are really good to get along with. Treat you more like a adult, and yeah, I guess it's more better for me than normal high school. And I guess that's all I've got to say.
Thank you for that, Jaden. Now we'll be moving on to Sam's journey.
Hi, I'm Sam. My PTech journey began when I decided to leave my previous school, which I really wasn't happy with. I wasn't enjoying it at all. I decided to join PTech because of its IT focus, which is what I'm really interested in. When I first started PTech, I found it to be way more relaxed. The teachers were way more helpful, and I liked how they treated me not only as an adult, but as my own person with different ways of learning. I still think all these things about PTech now. All the teachers are awesome and extremely helpful, and most of all, a great fit for PTech. I've really enjoyed learning here more than anywhere else. If someone were thinking about joining PTech, even in the slightest, I would highly recommend it. One of the things I'm most proud of since I joined PTech was being able to even complete year 11, because in year 10, I really struggled with motivation and just school in general. But when I moved to PTech, my newfound enjoyment for school motivated me, and I was able to pass intermediate with flying colors, just something I'm really proud of. Next year, I'm really looking forward to being able to go on to further study and get some part-time work. I'm going to continue studying IT as that's where my passion lies. I'm going to do a Cert 4 in IT. PTech has been a great experience for me, both in learning and life, and I'm really happy I decided to switch schools and move here. I've made great friends, learnt heaps, and thanks to the awesome support, managed to continue through the end of school and feel I can keep going. I'm super happy I was able to share my experience with both the students and teachers at this wonderful program, and I really hope that others get to experience it. PTech has changed my perception of both schooling and life for the better, and I'll surely miss it when it's over. That's all I have. Thank you.
Good job, Sam. And luckily last, we have Zach's journey.
Hello, everyone. My name is Zach, and my PTech journey starts halfway through year 10, where I ended up moving across the country to Ballarat. When I moved, unluckily, I was homeless for quite a while, and because of that, I had no schools to go to except for Fed Uni. They were the only school that would let me come here without a permanent residence. So I ended up doing year 11 in core VCAL, not PTech. But I flunked it pretty much, did no work, hardly came to school. And the only reason I got into year 12 was because Greta pushed me to join PTech for year 12. And I'm surprised I even got past year 11. But at the start of year 12, senior PTech, I knew literally nothing about technology. I hardly knew how to use a computer and stuff. I knew nothing. And I was nervous because it was all new people. But, it didn't take long for me to really, start getting the hang of it and liking everyone and making friends in the class and stuff. My attitude towards life and school in general really picked up from that. And compared to my old school and stuff, the teachers are real they see me as a real person, not just as another student. It doesn't feel like a boss and a yeah, they don't feel like bosses. They feel like, you know, just another person that you.
Welcome back. I would like to sincerely apologise for a brief interlude there. I hope you all were able to have a toilet visit or stretch your legs or do whatever you needed to then. And thank you very much for rejoining us. I would just like to hand back to Zach, who will finish off his journey before we kick into the next part. So over to you, Zach.
Yeah, so I don't really have much left to say. So it's pretty much just like, yeah, this year's been going good, and you know, I'm enjoying the classes, and I feel like I've learned quite a lot, and I'm hoping for next year to be able to continue my studies. And that's pretty much it.
Nice, so Zach. Now we hand it over to the teachers, Sheree and Greta, with some closing remarks.
So that's over to me. Welcome everyone. It's been such a great showcase already. Sorry about the technical difficulty. It's so great to be able to celebrate the students this year. Our year has not been what we expected, but our young people have made it a much easier year for me personally. So it's so great to be able to celebrate our young people today. The support of IBM as an industry partner this year has been amazing. It's been such wraparound for us and a support. We have had industry connections. We have had a virtual structured workplace learning opportunity. We've had people drop in and have conversations, career conversations with our students. The support of IBM is a game changer for our PTech program, and particularly this year, we have just appreciated that support so much. So thank you. A lot of our students started here in 2017. Our lovely college, Fed College, is an amazing space to be. It's an amazing space to work. Some of our students started in Kickstart, and our team of Fed College staff have been able to watch them grow and change throughout their years here. And it's such, we feel such pride today to see how they have grown and developed and become amazing and outstanding young people. And we can be very certain that they have very bright futures ahead of them. And we look forward to having some more celebrations in the classroom later on. But yeah, just a heartfelt thanks to my team and to our lovely young people who let us be part of their journey as well. Over to you, Greta.
Thank you, Sheree. I echo all of the sentiments that Sheree has stated there. I think it has been a whirlwind of a year, and I guess just in terms of being able to reflect on that, we have a little bit of a surprise for our senior students. I would like to hand the microphone over to a previous PTech student, Oscar DeVries, who has joined us in this call. Oscar finished senior PTech in 2019 and has continued to do some brilliant stuff this year. So we're just going to hand over to Oscar to hear what he's been up to and any advice that he might have for anyone finishing senior PTech in 2020.
Howdy. I wouldn't call it brilliant, but thanks for that greeting, Greta. I graduated PTech last year, a certificate for in design at Swinburne, which has been really great. I've enjoyed it a lot, even though it's been very difficult with online study, as you guys all know. I was thinking for a while about like what kind of advice I would give to myself, and I think it makes sense in regards to COVID, but also just like life otherwise, that when I came out of PTech, I kind of had my pathway set in stone. I knew exactly what I wanted to do and exactly how I was going to get there. But then literally within the first week of starting at Swinburne in my certificate for in games design, I realized that I really didn't want to do that, and completely changed what I was doing and just kind of let go of what I thought I wanted to do, which was difficult, and started to find things that I did really enjoy throughout the year and a new direction that I'd like to take my studies. And so I guess I'd just say to kind of leave it up to the universe a bit, like what your path ahead is going to look like. And as you all know from COVID this year, it's not always going to be exactly as how you expect it. So yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Oscar, for those words. It's definitely been a challenging time for all of us this year. And leaving school and heading off into the unknown, you're one step ahead of most of the people in this classroom. So it's really awesome to hear that even though plans change, things are okay and things are going really well. And also just to be open to what the universe is going to hand you and how to operate, I guess, when that does happen, and know that you can still do that and still follow dreams, but they just might be a different color to what you expected. Thank you, Oscar. I think that I would love to say so many things to all the students. I'm really proud of everything that you've done this year. All the work and all the effort that's gone in to try and make this year a success has definitely, been not what we expected. And it's awesome to see so many people taking part in this showcase and being able to step up and say, I'm really proud of what I've done. Because there is a lot there and you've achieved so much. So just be really happy and proud of what you have done. With that, I would like to hand back to our MC, Lachlan Buzzer, to close off.
Unfortunately, we have reached the inevitable end of this showcase. We all would like to thank you for you taking time out of your day to see our hard work in action. And I hope you enjoy this experience just as much as we did, if not more. Thank you.